The Highway Hunter. On a lonely stretch of highway cutting through the Nevada desert, there was a legend told only in whispers by truckers and late-night travelers. They called it the Highway Hunter, a creature that stalked those who drove the endless road between towns, hunting for those who traveled alone. It was said that the creature only came out at night, when the air grew cold and the blacktop shimmered under the moonlight. No one knew exactly what it looked like, but those who survived, what few there were, spoke of red eyes glowing in the rearview mirror and the sound of claws scraping against the asphalt. Some said it could change its shape, appearing human at first, only to reveal its true form once it had caught its prey. Jared had heard the stories. He was used to driving long, empty stretches of road. It was part of the job as a trucker. But tonight, there was something different in the air. The wind howled unnaturally as he passed mile after mile of empty desert. His radio crackled with static, and he swore he saw something dart across the road in his peripheral vision. Just the wind, he muttered to himself. But deep down, Jared felt uneasy. Hours passed, and the night grew darker, the moon hidden behind thick clouds. Jared's eyelids grew heavy, the monotony of the highway lulling him into a daze. Just as he was about to pull over to rest, his truck jolted violently, as if something had slammed into the side. He gripped the wheel tightly, trying to regain control. The radio sprang to life, crackling with garbled voices. Among the static, a deep growl echoed through the cab. Heart pounding, Jared scanned the road ahead, but there was nothing. Just darkness. He took a deep breath and pressed on, his fingers clenched white around the wheel. Then, the lights of a gas station appeared on the horizon, a small, run-down place in the middle of nowhere. Jared pulled in, glad to see a sign of life. As he stepped out of the truck, he noticed the strange silence. No wind, no chirping crickets, nothing. He entered the station, the bell above the door ringing out into the stillness. The cashier was a thin, pale man with sunken eyes who barely acknowledged Jared as he approached the counter. "Rough night?" the man asked, not looking up from his magazine. Jared nodded, too tired to explain. He paid for a cup of coffee and turned to leave when the man spoke again, this time in a low, almost conspiratorial tone. "You watch yourself out there. This road ain't safe after dark." Jared glanced back at the man, who now stared at him with cold, unblinking eyes. "What do you mean?" The cashier's lips twisted into a thin smile. "They say there's something out there. Something that hunts." Jared shivered but shook it off. "I've heard the stories. It's just old trucker tales." The man chuckled, a dry sound that sent a chill down Jared's spine. "Is that what you think?" Jared didn't answer, just gave a nod and hurried back to his truck. As he started the engine and pulled back onto the highway, his mind raced. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him. An hour later, the feeling turned to reality. In the rearview mirror, he saw it, a pair of glowing red eyes, low to the ground but keeping pace with his truck. He pressed the gas pedal harder, but the eyes remained. Panic surged through him as the truck's speedometer climbed, but still, the eyes followed, closing the distance. Suddenly, the truck lurched again, as if something enormous had latched onto the back. Jared screamed as claws scraped along the side, leaving deep gouges in the metal. The red eyes were closer now, their glow reflecting in the rearview mirror, filling the cab with an eerie red light. Jared slammed on the brakes, sending the truck screeching to a halt. The force threw him forward, and for a moment, everything went still. The red eyes disappeared. He sat frozen, his hands trembling on the wheel, until he heard it, a soft, wet breathing coming from the passenger side. Slowly, he turned his head. There, perched on the seat beside him, was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. Its skin was leathery and pale, stretched tight over sharp bones. Long limbs ended in clawed fingers, and its mouth was filled with jagged teeth. But the worst were its eyes, those red, glowing eyes, burning with hunger. Before Jared could react, the creature lunged. The last thing Jared saw was the highway stretching out into the dark, empty desert, forever lost to the hunter that stalked it. From that night on, Jared's truck was found abandoned on the highway, but his body was never recovered. Some say he became just another victim of the highway hunter, a cautionary tale for those brave or foolish enough to drive the desolate roads after dark. But those who survived tell the same story, red eyes in the rearview mirror and claws scraping on the blacktop, forever hunting. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe for more story.